Hi everyone, welcome to my plot. Today we're going to do a bit about horse shit. Excuse the language, but that's basically what it is. Well, no, it's stable muck, which consists of horses number 2s, horses number 1s, a bit of straw and shavings, basically whatever they clear out the stable. So whatever hasn't gone through the animal, it's done its business all over as well. So driving down the roads, you might see little bags, a bit like this, that fall outside. Say, free manure, please take. Now I'm up for anything that's free. So right, we'll have a look what it actually looks like. So let's see if you can see this. There. Doesn't look like a nice plate to eat, but it's good for the ground. It's good for your crop, which you are going to eat. That's the whole plan of having a walk. Right. You could put it in like that, but it's a bit fresh. Probably only a couple of weeks old, this. So I'm going to just show you how you can do a no-frills way of mounding it up and try and speed up the breakdown time. Because this is going to be dug in to this bed here, which is where my potatoes are going to go next year. If you haven't seen any of my other videos, welcome to the channel. Hope you find it helpful. Right, so let's get cracking. Well, first of all, see what you need. Obviously you need some horse muck, a rake, any old rake, it's just a value rake, lasts for ages. I would recommend, if you're going to do a lot, get a good spade and a good fork. Stainless steel are best. Handles, it's on to your own personal choice. But it's worth spending that little bit extra. They're not much more. Stainless steel fork, stainless steel spade. You don't really need a spade for this, but you can use it anyway. So it's mainly a fork and a rake. And a watering can filled with water. Now, if you've seen a previous video about mine regarding carbon and nitrogen, there is a lot of nitrogen in this, only in the stools and the wheat oil. But it is absolutely overcome with the amount of carbon, so there's a lot of carbon for it to break down. So I'm going to add nitrogen to it. Now in that watering can is diluted wheat. Sounds disgusting, but it's free. Because human wheat contains nitrogen. It's diluted in there. Not anymore stored. So the other option is, a few people who've watched my videos before will know about this, sulphate of ammonia. Yep, that is high nitrogen. Just gotta watch it because it'll make your ground a bit acidic. Don't overdo it. Bear with me and I'll pick it up. Right, dead straightforward to do. You need a bit of ground. I'm not going to do this in my compost heap. It's over there and I want to move it to here. So I'm thinking, well, I might as well do it here, and then I can just spread it next year. Oh, any time, you know. I'll give it probably about after Christmas and then I'll probably spread it. Some people just say, oh, leave it for ages, but you don't really have to. Once you get it hot, that's what you're after, a hot mound, because that will kill most of the pathogens, any weed seeds, because believe it or not, stable muck contains a hell of a lot of seeds. So be prepared for all sorts to grow. But you will have the upper hand if you hot wash it. Right, we'll get on with that now. So, bit of ground, a bag of muck, and dump it on. I'll move the camera so you can see it a bit better. Right, there you have it. First bag of muck. This bit I've got out, that can go on. If it's pretty wet, it's fine, it doesn't need water. But the idea is try and create a mound It'll spill over this way. You can put planks there, but I'm not bothered. I can just do it and then have to scoop up this top and put it on. So, right, we'll get the other ones on now because I've got a lot of bags. I think we've got 16, 17, which will make a nice heap. Just crack it open a bit. And try and make a big mound straight away. Take your time, you wear gloves, just look after your back. No point doing all this and then knackering your back up. Right. Well, I have the first 3 bags there. I'll push it out. And then do a bit of a wetting up. If you've got any grass clippings knocking around, put an inch of them on. We'll say it really needs to be on bare soil, you know, or, well, ground. It doesn't matter if it's got grass on it. That way the microorganisms from underneath will come up into it. Now I'm going to add some sulphate of ammonia. Just a little bit though. Cast it. Just a bit more water. It's really straightforward to do this. Yeah, the longer you can leave it, the better. I just want to make it safe to use. Keep repeating these steps. Put a layer on, wet it, add a bit of nitrogen to it. Some more water. Okay, doing this in the middle of winter because it's a bit chilly, so it keeps you warm. don't worry about all the stuff spilling about. Tidy all that up after. Make it nice, sort of flattish top on it, so when you water it, the water can actually filter through it rather than making a great big puddle on top. And it's best reason to have it on open ground because it can freely drain. Sulphate ammonia. I use quite a lot of sulphate ammonia. It's just, I do a lot of composting stuff and it just speeds it all up. Flatten this top down a bit. Don't need to build any structure for this. If you've got a structure, I've got one that I build up portable. You know, I build up where I need it, but in this case I'm going to do it just for the sake of ease. We can put some Gromo granules in it. It's got some nitrogen in it. That is the last bag. There's quite a dry layer there. So, a bit more of that. Some more water. This will reduce in size when it starts to rot down. Just takes the nozzle off and speed it up a bit. If you've got a hose pipe you can use on your plot, great, just a little spray. Right, you could just leave it like that, but I'm going to tidy it up a bit. It's also when it started raining. What I'm going to do, around the edges, like hill it up. It's a bit like earthing potatoes, I suppose. Doesn't have to be too brilliant. It's not art. I don't think anyone would want to do art with shit anyway. Oh, bit of furniture in there. Curtain pole or something like that. We don't need black bits, are they? Just bits of wood ash. Had a fire here the other week to burn all the old offcuts and whatnot. When it gets to the point where it just keeps rolling down, just bring all the loose stuff around the edges. Because any of them, what do I call it, poo nuggets, ripe with seeds. Now all of this mound isn't going to get hot. I'll explain in a minute what you have to do. That's where the real graft comes into it. And people who've seen me with a compost video, pretty much the same as doing this really. So this is, you're not really rotting this for complete weed-free mix. Once you don't know what horse has been grazing on, therefore you don't really know what you're going to introduce to your land. This is why you're best off trying to get it hot. Right, scoop these to the edge. You know, some people probably think I'm a bit obsessed with composting, but there is a bit of a knack to it. Once you've got that knack, you can pretty much compost whatever you like and you can control the speed of it. And yeah, if you want that real fine stuff like you get in the garden centres, that takes time. But there's nothing stopping you, say, collecting a load of this stuff, making one pile to dig in the spring, and forget, you know, make another pile out of the way somewhere that you're going to use next year or the year after. Leave it time, you know, give it time. I don't use my spade here, get all the poo all over the path. I don't expect this to be completely weed free, but it's good to dig in. If you've got a new plot and you want to get some organic matter in, it's a great way to start. I mean, you could do hotbeds with this sort of stuff, but I don't do hotbeds. I know how to do them, but it's not worth the time and effort to do a hotbed. Unless it's in your back garden. Right, the main ingredients this needs, You can see my face over it's Mound or not, I don't know. You've got the carbon in there, you've got the nitrogen in there. So that's like the magic mix. But you also need moisture. It needs to be moist but not wet. And one of the main important things is air. It needs air. So this will settle as it becomes, you know, over the next week it'll start to shrink. It'll start to warm up in the core, in the centre of this pile. It'll get very hot, so don't be sticking your hand in there. Not that you would. I'm just saying it's, I'm surprised how hot it will get. But it'll start to cool, and that's because the air is being sort of blanketed out as it squeezes out all the little air pockets, close, and it kind of ceases and it will cool. That's when the work bit comes in then. You need to get a fork, break this pile apart. The ideal way is that whatever's on the outside needs to become the inside on the next pile. Turn it 2 times. If you've got a thermometer like me, I'll go and get it so you can see it. Yeah, nothing fancy. Got it off Amazon or eBay for about 6-7 quid. Right, so you get that, shove it in, and you can take its temperature now. When you collect it sometimes in bags, the bags will be warm. You know, I mean, it's saying 19 at the moment, but it ain't. It's only because that's been in my shed where it's a bit warmer. Now, you need to cover this. Well, you don't have to. If you can cover it, it'll stop the moisture evaporating off it because it's going to get hot, and it'll stop the rain hitting it and cooling it down. You're hoping for any excess moisture to drain downwards, and then a sheet will stop it evaporating off, so it will keep condensating and keeping it moist. So you won't really have to add water to it after this, unless when you turn it and it's got hot and some steamed off and it's a bit dry, add some more water because it needs moisture. And you'll notice it start to darken first, but you're not going for compost. This is manure. It is not going to be like compost, not for a long time. But once it's rotted down, it's become safe to use. Go on your ground, and when you put it in the ground, I'm going to probably leave this. Probably going to be about 3.5 months before this goes in the ground, and the potatoes will go in probably a month after. But when I come to dig my potatoes up, I will not recognise any of this. It will be completely gone. The worms will have broken all down. It'll be all mixed in. So when you mix it into your soil, you only need to get a spade and just turn it in a bit, or a fork. You can do that when you do your initial dig before you're going to do your potatoes. So I'm not going to show you our sheet. I'm just going to put a tarpaulin over it and I'm going to keep it quite tight to it. I'll put it tight because this is going to shrink. And then I'm going to check its temperature probably once a week and expect it to get above 60 degrees within 2 weeks. Now if it gets to 60 degrees for 5 days, that will kill pretty much anything that's inside the core. And the core is probably only going to be half the size of this pile. So when I turn it, I need to try and get as much of the cool stuff to create the new core. Sounds complicated, but you don't really have to do it properly like that. So let's get this camera. There you have it. That's what to do with a pile of shit. Thanks for watching. See you next video. Take care. Bye.